the wheel's starting to squeak.
Electric shock.
Good, okay. Welcome to the November 3rd, 2025 Ware Selectmen's meeting. Call to order, we'll do the pledge of allegiance first.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Cameron's running a little late tonight, so we'll open it to public comment. Anybody have anything to say as public comment?
Good evening. I'm Neil Kirk, Mount Dearborn Road. 2 items. First, if you guys haven't already done so, would you consider doing something to help the nation celebrate its 250th next year? I'm sure the Historical Society will do something, but it would be nice to have the town itself do something. Second issue.
Is your microphone on? No. Sorry.
Second issue deals with assessing. I think there's an inequity in assessing which you folks could address and correct. At the moment, if a person puts up a wooden shed on a foundation or just on a pad, it's considered a building and gets assessed. But if another person puts up the same square footage in the form of these containers, the metal containers that are used for international shipping, they are not assessed. So a person puts in a pad, drops one of these containers, 8 by 40 feet, 8 by 20 feet, and it's not assessed. So it seems to me that's very unfair that we're allowing some people to be taxed who either shouldn't be or some people not to be taxed who should be. It doesn't matter which way we do it, but equity requires that both of these kinds of sheds be treated equally. Thank you.
Anybody else will comment? Right?
Thank you. Frank Campana, Quaker Street. I'm sorry to see Chairman Knapp is not here tonight, but I want to thank him for the last meeting. He had an issue that he brought forth, and it suggested it had to do with Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, and perhaps not all boards, starting their meeting that way. I think his suggestion was to, maybe have that happen. Personally, I think it's up to the board's chairman to do that, either to respect the flag or not to respect the flag. It's unfortunate the flag over the last 250 years has had a lot of blood spilled on it, both by men and women, and not to acknowledge the flag and for what it stands for, I think is, very disrespectful to the flag and those people. I don't go to hardly any other board or commission meeting, so I was not aware that they did not, do the pledge. And the last thing, I always have, this is the format that I am used to, and all the time when I do the Pledge of Allegiance, everybody in this room, they stand to do the Pledge of Allegiance. It goes through my mind is those people that have their, their words coming out, are they really words that they stand by, or are they just hollow words and the people are just going through the motions? I don't know that. I'm not looking for an answer, but that's what I think of. Do they mean it or don't they? So again, I appreciate Mr. Knapp bringing that to at least my attention, and let's at least keep it here. So, thank you.
I can tell you at the planning board that we've been doing Pledge of Allegiance recently, and I think part of the reason why it, at least the planning board, why it wasn't done in the past is some previous select board had kind of told all the boards that we do the pledge of allegiance on Monday nights, you don't need to do it at the rest of the board hearings. Not trying to make excuses, but that's, I recall that happening.
Thank you for that. Tom Clow, 125 Concord Stage Road. I just follow up on Neil's comment because I was thinking about this beautiful bell that sits in the tower of our town hall. And it's functional, and it has an inscription on it. It's set in a hardwood frame. When I was on the board, we did some work and some estimates over there, and so we couldn't resist going up and taking a look at times and maybe even ringing it a few times. But it's a shame that that bell is there and it's never used. And so, you know, with the board's permission and with Naomi handing over the key, I'd like to go up and take a picture of the bell and maybe use it for a future story, but also 250th anniversary of our nation, it'd be a good time to hear that bell ringing, and then perhaps on our patriotic celebration day in the future.
I used to ring it 4th of July.
When you were a kid.
7 years.
I heard about that. Well, you see, we have an experienced bell ringer too. So anyways, if it's okay with everybody, I'll go up and take a picture of that and maybe put it in our newspaper if it comes out, and I'd also look forward to perhaps ringing it.
I'm fine with that. The ringing though, the last time I was up there, probably a little over a year ago, there was pieces of really thin plywood holding the frame together just to hold the bell in place.
Really?
So.
It looked like hardwood, like a spruce, not a spruce,
Yeah, but
like a...
there's some patches on it that,
Oh, okay, well, then probably that should be looked at, but
yeah.
otherwise, we
Before anybody gets-
just...
Before anybody gets too carried away with jumping on the
Well,
rope.
the bell ring would probably be on the floor under it.
Yeah.
If you rang it too hard. Well, okay, thank you.
Anybody else for public comment? Okay, I'll close the public comment period. We've got some department head items. Police chief has couple of things to discuss.
Very quick ones. One's just an announcement. Our long-awaited radio system will be operational November 12th. We
Nice.
have the date. So, we got that announcement today. We've made notifications throughout the state on new frequency. Thank you for all your assistance, Jack. I know you were one of the premier drivers of that long ago, so thank you. The second one is official approval from the Board of Selectmen. When we sold 2 vehicles, I believe it was in 2024, we received $16,600 from the sale of those 2 vehicles. We had to, with the board's approval at that time, use some of that funding due to a vehicle accident of number 6. But there is $8,717 remaining from that auction. I'm requesting to use $8,717 to offset the warrant article for the purchase of 1 new police cruiser. I'm pretty sure I already got approval for special detail funds too, but we might as well throw that in there just in case I didn't. I'm requesting special detail funds and $16,566 to be used to offset that warrant article too. That would bring the warrant article down to $60,000.
How much was the detail funds?
Detail funds are $16,566 and White Farm auction is $8,717.
Is that within our purview, Naomi? Okay.
Beth, you wanna make a motion for that?
Want me to?
You can't make a motion, so
Yeah, I didn't think so. I thought you were looking at me.
You can try.
she's right behind you.
I got a lot of motions if I could do it.
We do that, so.
Can we do it with one motion for a total amount, or we want to do two different amounts?
As long as you express it, $8,717 from 2024 auction and $16,566 from special detail to offset the 2026 warrant article for the cruiser.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we use $8,717 for the from the 2024 auction income for the police cruiser, and $16,566 from the special detail fund from that balance to date.
That's not the balance of it. I've got more than that, but I'm trying to make it last for several years.
Also towards the warrant article item for a new cruiser, for a total of, do we have a total, Beth?
You know, let him do math.
Drum roll, please.
Not my calculator. 25,283.
Thank you.
For a total of $25,283 to offset the cost of a new cruiser on next year's town warrant.
Second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions?
Thank you very much.
Is all you had, Chief?
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we've got a CIP presentation on the 2026 CIP by the chairperson, Denise Harrington.
I'm gonna put that up. So, do they have slides in front of them, or are they gonna be,
Yeah, they all have the same thing.
okay,
Yep.
all set? For those of you who might not know me, I'm Denise Purington. I am the chair of the CIP committee. And here tonight, you should have a presentation in front of you here tonight to just give you an update of what we reviewed with the department heads going into the budget and warrant process 2026. On slide number 2, you'll see who the members of the CIP committee are. I thought, if you have questions, I'll do my best to answer them. I thought the department heads might be here, but between Jack and I and Tom, we'll try to answer your questions. So bear with me here too, because first time up here doing it as chair. So if you go to slide number 3, just to remind you, we have priority classifications that we give to the department heads as they're moving forward in the process. And this year, we asked them to take a look at those things that are urgent or necessary that have to be done within a year, to be kind of conscious of the budget process. So keep that in mind. Those are the requests that came through that we'll be taking you through. Slide number 4 is just an overview. This is a quick overview. We're going to go through the details a little more, but this you can refer back to. Gives you an idea of what currently exists in the capital reserve accounts. And as we look at the planning process for 2026 through 2031, just giving you a sense of what the departments presented to us. So we're going to be talking tonight about 2026, but we've also dropped in there things that they're going to be looking for in the upcoming years. And then this gives you, slide 4 and 5 gives you at least a look at what's in the capital reserve fund. Also at the bottom, if you look at page 5, at the bottom of the page, I just want to point out that there is the debt service listed there. There is the highway department garage bond. I pointed this out only because it will become a factor when you see the final number. And jump in, Beth.
Well, she's trying to get it to go.
Am I going too fast? Sorry.
No,
I don't know what's
We'll
going
catch
on.
up.
I saw it was fine,
When we get to the final page, when we talk about the amounts that are requested for 2026, the long-term, the garage bond and the road preservation bond are factored into that. So I just wanted to point out those two numbers at the bottom of the page. And also that the garage bond, this is the last, 2026 will be the last year for that one. Okay, any questions right now on that page? If not, we'll probably come back to this at some point. So I'd like to start off with the capital request for the fire department. If you turn to slide, page number 6, you'll see on the board, just joking.
Eventually.
So the fire department actually started out the process with us requesting 2 items, a portable ventilator and a cistern at the safety complex. After reviewing all the requests, talking with the fire department, the cistern for the safety complex is going to be deferred as a future project, potentially in 2027. I did notice that on the prior pages, that cistern didn't get dropped in, so that should be listed under the column for 2027. It's not on that particular spreadsheet. I can go over the summary of all of these and then get into the details, or do you want to jump ahead to the detail slide as we do each department? What do you prefer? Jump ahead to the detail? So if you jump ahead to the slide number 8, we'll talk a few minutes about the portable ventilator. The funding will come through the ambulance billing special revenue fund, so that they will not have a tax impact. There will be a $1 tax impact on this. As of today, the balance in that fund is $84,668. So there's enough to cover the $50,000 if it gets advanced. Just to give you a little bit of background, they currently use a BiPAP CPAP device that is manual, which means somebody has to stand there. When a person is breathless, they have to manually squeeze the bulb on the mask for it to work. What they're asking for in this ventilator is the ability to have the machine itself doing that. What that does for the town and for our community, the patients that we're serving, they can set the machine to deliver a more accurate amount of oxygen to the patients and breathe for them. It also frees up a staff person or person to be caring for the patient, because they're not focused on, that one person has to focus on squeezing that current device. And it takes out the human error in that. It is a standard of care seen across most of the communities. So the fire department or the ambulance service is looking to get their standards up similar to those across the communities. I think that covers most of it. I don't know if you have any questions on this one before I move on, or... It's a 10-year life expectancy on the device, so if it is advanced and voted in, they expect a 10-year life expectancy from the machine. Any questions on that one?
I just want to make a point of clarity.
Sure.
You mentioned the balance in the fund is $86,000 and change.
Yes.
And just so everybody knows, the reason why it's $86,000 and change was because we already fully paid for the new fire engine
Okay.
out of that fund
Oh, okay.
a month ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's why, if anybody was following that fund, that's why there's a significant drop to it, because
Okay.
that
All right.
that-
I just
truck has already been paid for. So.
I made sure we had the current balances so that as we talked about the funding coming out, that you'd know that there's at least enough balance in there to.
Yep, no, that was good.
Yeah, okay. Good point. That I didn't know. So any questions left? That's the only thing that the fire department has. If no questions, we will move on to the next item is I think these, I'm gonna, just because your slides are in this order, we're gonna jump to the police department. You'll see that on the top of page 7. The police department is looking for a cruiser replacement at $85,283 with an offset, which you just heard him come and get approval for. So the offset is the $25,283 that will come from the his fund and the White Farm Fund. And then also he is looking for a 5-bay carport at the safety complex. So if you jump ahead to slide 9, I'll go through the details for you. Currently, and actually, if it helps you, also on slide 10 shows you the whole fleet. It might help as we look at that if you flip between the two. So he's right now looking to replace patrol number 5. You'll see that on slide 10. And I do want to make note that right now this is a projection that he will replace patrol 5, but understand a year from now when the actual time comes, if something else is more critical, he may switch it to another car, but he is looking for one. Currently, this vehicle has been out of service. It will be having a new used engine, or not new, but it will be having a used engine installed so it can get back on the road again, but it is the one that's being targeted for replacement. If you look at his 5-year plan, the amount for this replacement is slightly less than others because the plan is to move the radio systems from the existing car into this car, so they won't have to replace all the radio systems in that particular vehicle. He's also looking to try to take his fleet to more of the Chevy Tahoe line. What he's finding is that the Dodge Chargers are not holding up, more repairs and maintenance, and they get a more sturdy car, and it seems to be the standard now in the police departments to be having this type of vehicle. The last bullet on that page, due to the failure to approve the purchase of vehicles in previous budget cycles, 3 of the last 6 cycles, this one is getting critical. So again, they're trying to look at staying on track for getting these replaced. If you look at slide 13, if you jump ahead, he's actually outlined for you his long-term plan for the fleet. So you get a sense of what he'd be looking. You'll see the 18 Charger under column 2026. But then you'll see what he's looking to do in future years. So he's trying to keep on a cycle of getting one per year. The chief did include for us some background information if the question comes up, why does the town need 7 vehicles? He's kind of outlined they have 5 patrol vehicles, 2 command vehicles, just to give you a sense of why they have the fleet size that they have, and kind of his methodology for life cycle programming and what he's looking at. Any question on the car, and if not, we'll move to the carport.
I think it'd be interesting to show, at least reference on page 15, the cost per year for maintenance.
Oh, yes, yep. If you do move to slide 15, well, actually, 14, if you look at 14 real quick, he's just giving you a little bit of a historical look at what they've done over the last few years, in case you're interested in seeing what the replacement cycle looked like. And then on slide number 15, we went back to 2020 and looked at the vehicle repair and replacement maintenance costs. As these vehicles start to age, the maintenance costs on those tend to go up. So there is some benefit to the replacement cycle because then it reduces the maintenance costs, which you can kind of see if you go back to 21, 22, and then it started to go up as they didn't get the replacement vehicles.
You know, spending half a car a year on
Yeah, yeah,
repairs.
yeah, exactly, exactly. So that kind of gives you, I mean, I'll let you read through the bullets, but that kind of gives you a sense of why he's requesting a car this year, okay? The next one is a 5-bay carport at the safety complex. And if you go to slide number 16, just to note, my understanding is we tried to get a photo so you could kind of see what it looked like, but it is not going to have, my understanding is it's not going to have sides all the way around. The bay at the end where you see the garage door will be enclosed so that they can use that as a designated area for evidentiary items and large property items. But otherwise, what they're looking for here, so again, if you look at the request is for $30,000, and that would come through warrant article. They, on page 16, you'll see, again, this provides an area where they can store large property items, even vehicles. In the past, they've had even issues where, bombs were in a car, you can't just pull it into the bay down there that they have. So they also are using storage. So they rent storage annually to store a lot of their evidence at an estimated cost this past year of $2,500. Also, when you look at the ability to put their vehicles under the carport, it makes those vehicles more readily usable by the police, particularly in the winter, so that if they go out on a call, they're not going out and having to clear the snow or having to do that every couple hours throughout the day while they're on duty. Also, they've had some repairs in the past related to weather damage, so sun constantly on the vehicles, inside the vehicles. So there have been some repair costs as a result of that. So really, this is a way to move forward to have their vehicles undercover, have a place to have their items stored locally, really free up the officers to be able to go out on calls and not have to clear off the cars. And just to make note, when the pad was laid in that, on the safety complex, the utilities were all put down, so the utilities are already there. So that is not a cost that they would incur for building that building.
So this building is going on the current existing pad, there's no,
Yeah, it's my understanding that when you drive by the safety complex where the police cruisers are normally parked, where you see them from the road, that is the pad that the building will go on.
okay.
And when that pad was laid, whenever it was laid, they put the utilities down at that time. So it would be, again, building the carport with only one enclosed bay. The rest of it would just be the roof and open. And their estimates were $30,000. Any questions on that? If not, we will move on to I think I'm going to back up to page 6, move on to the DPW. So we're going to flip between page 6 and page 17. So again, we're looking at 3 items that I'm going to speak to for DPW. One would be a new 10-wheel plow truck. This would be a replacement. The request, the cost is $280,000. They are looking to take $20,000 from their current reserve fund, so the tax impact would be on $260,000. And we'll talk about their fleet in just a second as we go through this. So if you look at page 17, this is actually going to be, this truck will be replacing an existing 2008 Volvo 10-wheeler. Again, I just, as I did with the police department, caution that if something more critical were to come up, that would be switched, but they're still looking for a new vehicle. These new vehicles will come in with a Hardox anti-corrosion steel allied body, which is different than what the past trucks have had, to reduce the amount of rusting and erosion. Currently, my understanding is that they employ 11 drivers, particularly during the plow season. Right now, only currently have 10 working trucks. So essentially, you have somebody without a truck because they do have a truck down right now that is not repairable. So this would be looking to get them up to where they need to be.
Yeah.
And if you flip to page 19, and his chart's a little bit bigger because his fleet is bigger, so if you look at 19, 20, and 21, like the police department, he has given you a look at his fleet and what his estimated replacement would be. You just need to flip the charts because you'll see that in 2027, the replacement truck is actually on page 20, so it may look blank on the first page, but flip the page, follow it through, because they have a large fleet. But he just, again, they wanted to give us a sense and you a sense of what they're looking at going forward in trying to maintain their fleet and keep all 11 trucks up and running. That makes sense. Any questions on the truck? Jack, did I, hopefully I haven't missed anything. If you
I
look,
might point out on
I'm
page
gonna do the maintenance.
18.
Yeah.
Well, then not page 18,
Huh?
but
Hold on.
what the rust looks like.
Yeah, so on page 18, what we've tried to do is give you a look at the current truck, so you get a sense of what the current truck looks like and why there's a need to repair that. Also, if you take,
Just a comment, I was up there 2 or 3 weeks ago, and everybody was working on trucks because all of them needed some sort of repair.
yeah,
It was kind of ridiculous,
yeah,
actually.
and it's my understanding the one truck that's down is now just basically, they're trying to take parts off it to
Yeah,
put
they're-
them on
they're-
another one.
They're scalping what they can off
Yeah.
of it to put onto other trucks.
Exactly. And, I think, as I just said, they have routes to support 11 drivers, the 10 trucks, so you're essentially have one driver that doesn't have a truck to drive.
Right.
And you've got your other drivers trying to plow more routes to get to those routes. So being down a truck has
And
been
pay
difficult.
overtime.
Yeah. If you look at
Did
page,
they, I'm sorry,
oh, that's okay.
did they,
If you want to look at
was
their
only
maintenance
necessary but
costs.
not urgent?
if
Why
you-
was it not made like urgent or critical? Like just necessary?
I think, well, I
The
think,
definition, you could
Well, that's what
exclude,
I'm,
you could extend life and safety for, usually that's reserved for police and fire. Necessary is still the same year.
right,
It's just different category for the same year. Doesn't mean a priority, it just means.
well, it's a plow truck.
Huh?
It's a plow truck, so I would,
Want to make it life and safety?
my argument is, the roads need to be plowed for safety issues,
Okay, you do
but
that.
whatever.
I think
necessary.
I think they were following the
They might have
definition
been
around,
erring on the side of caution, but.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that they really do need a new truck. And if you go to page 22, again, the vehicle hours and mileage are listed there for you, so you at least get a sense of not only what T4, which is the truck they're looking at replacing has on it, but it gives you an idea of what their whole fleet looks like and some of the challenges that they're gonna have going forward if we don't, look at the plan that Jason's put together to kinda, do this every year so we're not playing catch-up or having trucks down or paying employees, but they have no vehicles to use.
I mean, if they're using it as a donor truck now and scalping parts off it, then it's not gonna be running this winter either. So we're gonna be down that truck all winter.
Something I'd like to point out about the hours and miles, I used to leave the miles right off, because miles on a plow truck are irrelevant. But at a minimum, a plow truck for a municipality in this area is about 30, you know, the wear and tear of what the salt does and what you're doing for work equals out to about 35,000 miles to every 1,000 hours. So you're looking at the 10,000 hour truck being at least a minimum of equal to 350,000 miles worth of tear.
Yeah.
It's probably worse than that, really,
Yeah.
but, so the miles for people that own trucks that might be out there looking, the miles doesn't equate to anything for a plow truck, so.
T2, which is the newest, that's the oldest new truck that we bought.
Right.
That had almost $70,000 worth of repairs on it this year.
Yeah,
Just,
the after treatment, because everything's got that after treatment on it now, so.
So if you look, flip to page 24, like we did on the police department, we took a look at the repair costs, and it's even larger than,
not even plow season yet.
yeah. So, I mean, you can see that this year alone, and this is just the numbers were through September, it's significant, and it's just gonna continue to go up if we don't look at trying to get some of these older trucks or stay in a rotation. If you look at, just back up to slide 23, just so I can point out to you what that slide is. Jason prepared a slide for us that goes back to 2000, all the way up to what he's estimating going forward to 2031, but gives you a sense of what his rotation has been. And again, you see 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, no trucks purchased. When that happens that many years in a row, then you get into a situation of you're going to need a lot. So I think that, and again, 2021, no truck purchased. So I think what Jason, in 2025, I think what he really wanted to stress to us is, you know, you take a look at the picture, you got a truck down that's pretty much not going to get repaired. If we don't start getting the rotations through, we're going to face this more and more. We're going to face higher repair costs.
That truck that's not being repaired is the 2000 Mack. The frame is beyond repair. Rusted and all broken, so. And to Jason's credit, he didn't try to spend any money the rest of that truck.
So,
Which is added to the list.
yeah, so, that's kind of it in a nutshell on the truck. Any questions on that? Other questions or anything you want to point out for the public? I think we-
It was, you know, when I was there, I planned on doing a truck a year, always. And I
Yeah.
think Jason has the same feeling.
Yep,
And it's a big deal when one gets voted down, because for one, it screws up the rotation, but for two, you don't get a truck the same year you order one right now.
right, that's correct.
I have, at my current work, I have two trucks that were ordered in '24 and '25, I don't have either one of them.
I don't have my notes right quick at hand, but he did indicate what the turnaround time from.
It's about a year.
Yeah, and so
And-
they're not gonna see this right away if it gets approved on the road.
No, so
Yeah.
you're running that old truck, so when it gets voted no for a year, you put it behind 2 years.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's been tried to, and it's probably a conversation a little later in the meeting, but I saw some email back and forth with, potential questions for finance wanting long-term plans. There has been long-term plans put forth for years and years and years.
Yep.
And one of them is a plow truck every year and a police cruiser every year.
Right.
And when it gets put off and we think that the taxpayers don't wanna buy it this year, or we think we know better than the department head this year, this is what we end up
Right,
with.
yep,
And we have these guys and girls and ladies that we pay to give us their plan, and then we don't
Right.
wanna listen to them,
Right.
and this is where we fall into.
and I think,
We need the select board and finance to work together and CIP to support their plan. And if we don't like their plan, then we need to pull them in and say, can we adjust it?
Right.
But don't,
I think
it's
they,
detrimental that we support them on this.
I mean, I think you'll find in your packet, when you have a chance to go back through, they did a really good job making sure everybody had their long-term plans. So they outlined their fleets. Even Jason went back, we asked him to come back with the slides that you see in here, with each truck laid out in his estimate. So again, that everybody who's looking at that, whether it's you guys, the finance committee, the taxpayers, understand, you're absolutely right, there is a plan. They've looked at their plans and what they need to do, and those will be adjusted. Again, as I said, a truck could die that unexpectedly, they'll
Sure,
have to
of
flip it
course.
around. I think both the police department and DPW made a couple of other good comments. You know, for some of these guys, this is their office, if you will. When you look
Yeah.
at morale, you look at recruiting, you look at retaining. The equipment that you put these people in, hoping that if they go out at 3 o'clock in the morning, that the truck is gonna work until their job is done. And so I think we also have to think about, how does this impact recruiting, retention, and just folks understanding that they're working in these things all day long.
And it absolutely does, because every town is looking for help.
Right,
And
right.
any other town that has better
Right.
equipment pays similar
Right,
pay. then-
right. So I do think that they put good thought into this, and I think you'll see that in the details that they provided.
Another point on this slide showing purchase and no purchase. The cost is approaching double what we pay for a truck now than we did. Because technically those Volvos were right after the international. And we're still stuck with those 3 Volvos, 2 2.6s, 6 wheels and 1 10-wheel. And trying to get rid of them. And now their replacement cost is, $280. And with any inflation and any tariff issues we gotta face, it'll be over 3 before we know it. So,
I got a question for Beth. Was municipal leases on vehicles,
Yes, there are some, yeah.
I mean,
So you'll be
let's say you bought,
adding interest, and you'll still.
well,
have
how,
to
what,
give
what, how much is the interest on those?
Well, I think we were quoted last year for an engine, it was like 2.8.
The inflation of the rate these things are going up faster than that, the cost of the truck.
yeah, but even so.
So you'll have a payment with interest every year, and then if you buy a truck every year, then you're gonna have 2 payments, 2 interest payments every year. And
Yeah.
then next year, you're gonna have 3.
If this is the
So-
last truck we're gonna buy, do a 3-year or 5-year. But the problem is,
You should have one every year.
you don't want every year, cause you're gonna be full up anyways after 3 years.
That was the problem with, I never agreed to the leases, and then, same with CIP, I saw that question arise from, also, which would save the money first and then buy it. I don't disagree with that, if you're buying 5 trucks every 10 years. You need a truck every year, you can't, you gotta appropriate the money, so. And cruiser, same way, we've had, former and current police chiefs that said we need a cruiser every year. Former and current DPW directors that say we need a truck every year. We just need everybody to get on board with it. They
Right.
want us to make these long-term plans, here they are.
Right,
Don't tell us that's what we don't need, because
Right.
they know the business and know that this is what's gonna happen. Now we're gonna be 2.5 years behind on
Right.
truck, because got voted down last year.
right. And I I agree that we've seen that based on the repair costs and the fact that they don't have enough trucks for the number of employees they have. So there's costs there that are being wasted also. So I think needs to be looked at. Any other questions on the truck or comments? If not, we'll move on to the road construction. Corresponds with slide 25. Again, my understanding is this is a line item that pretty much comes up every year. Again, same kind of thought process. If you don't budget consistently for road repairs and maintenance, you're gonna end up behind, and then you're playing catch-up. So looking at road construction, a request of $700,000, there is a state grant that we've been receiving for $284,000. Therefore, the cost impacted taxes would be $416,000. My understanding is this is consistent with what has been done in past years, just again to keep it consistent. And we asked Jason just to give us a couple of examples that you see on 25 of road repairs that they've done, through the fund. I think that one's pretty straightforward, but if you have any questions,
Is this an increase or same as last year, Beth?
my understanding it was the same, no?
I think you went up 50.
You know, 50
Yeah.
last year.
It was 650 last year.
Well, I thought that was the plan, plus asphalt's gone up, so.
The reason we had to purchase the bond, $2.5 million bond, 7 years ago. I think it was 7 years ago.
That long?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time flies, huh?
Fossils, huh?
Yeah.
The problem is, we weren't putting enough money into, the problem was, we were approving and accepting roads that weren't up to built-in standards, 70s, 80s, and 90s. So they all came due, which sucks up the money for rebuilding these roads that were, I want to use the substandard with different specifications today.
Right.
So the real question is, there was no money to do shim and overlay, which protects the reasonably good roads, that if we got in front of it, or you want to put a layer over it, and shim and overlay, and chip seal. So even the $700,000 probably isn't what's needed, is what we can afford. And there's high possibility in another 6-7 years, we'd have to take another bond, do some additional work that we would have to catch up on again. So this isn't the absolute money we need, this is what we feel we can get passed by the town.
And I'd like to add that was also part of the long-term plan, was to try to catch us up a little, and then increase our annual budget by a certain amount every year. And that would go, a couple factors fell into that. We knew we wanted to be up, at that time, 7 years ago, around 750,000, we couldn't do it all at once.
Right.
So we needed to go up in increments, and then inflation on asphalt, at that time,
$60.
the bond was a little over $60 a ton for asphalt at that time, and, this year it was 95. So you
can do
figure
less
100
miles,
next
right?
year, so. So again, that was, for anyone listening, that was part of the plan also, that was.
Yeah, and I do think that's a good point, that it's been a plan that was put into place previously, again, to try not to fall behind and stay up to date. As Jack mentioned, there's probably more you could be doing, but to at least have something every year. Okay? Then the next item, and their last item, was transfer station scales. Cost of $100,000. That amount would be taken from the transfer station special revenue fund, so there'd be a zero tax impact. Currently, that fund is at $117,820. If you go to slide 26, we'll talk a moment about the reason for him advancing this. He put together a slide for you on slide 26 that you could get a sense going back to 2021. The tonnage that we're looking at, the number of loads, the disposal cost, the hauling costs, the total expenses, and then taking a look at the revenue. And I think it's important for everybody to understand that the construction debris is estimated by the yard and kind of subject to interpretation. So when a truck comes in and they take a look at it, they're trying to do the best they can to estimate it. But when we go to dispose of it, we pay by the ton. So it's not apples for apples, and therefore, that's why I think you see in past years there's been discrepancy. By purchasing this scale, it really takes a lot out of the equation, because you just have the truck pull up on the scale. Today, there's currently a lot of folks come in, they're upset about the cost, they don't believe that it's accurate. They may try to barter I have this much money with me, you know, that kind of thing. It's just, it's really not a good science. And as you see, historically, we've not covered the cost through the revenue. So Jason would really like to advance this year. One of the things that they're also going to do is think strategically about where it is placed, so that long-term, if there's any changes made to the transfer station, this is factored in, so it wouldn't have to be moved again, but would be put in a location that, should there be any changes made to the transfer station over the next few years, this would not have to be moved and that cost incurred. Any thoughts or questions on that?
Well, I can tell you, I'm in construction, and the place I used to go burned, so I went up to the transfer station, and it was a guessing game.
Yeah,
I got up there, and he's like, well, it's about, and he measured my trailer, and he looked, and he did this. You used to just get on the scale, it's a number.
right,
That's the number.
right,
Period.
right. And that's,
You move on.
right.
And
when
there's
we
no
t-
guessing,
Right,
which is
exactly.
the best part. It was easy. You
And-
drive on, you get weighed,
Yeah,
you go dump it, you drive back on, subtract the difference, and there's your price.
right. And essentially, when we go to dispose of it, and that's what's happening.
And that's the
Yeah.
point.
Yes.
They don't guess when we go to
Right,
pay for
that's
it,
correct.
when we go to dispose of it.
That's correct. So I think there could be a less variable, variability in the budget, and we could consistently budget and know that we have the revenue coming in to cover the expense on that one.
I'm hugely in favor of this,
Yeah,
especially with no tax impact,
Right.
because it's already more than enough to cover it.
Right.
In the fund.
right. And I do think it would reduce a whole host of issues there.
Well, it would take a lot of pressure off the transfer guys too,
Yep.
because
Yep,
when they go to walk up to a truck, they don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
they
there,
don't know what's in the load.
right, and,
And it could weigh, I mean, you could have,
exactly.
lead pipes or something you took out of a house. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And Jason will tell you that there are times that, he has to get called in because there's there's a,
Right.
like you said,
Right.
they don't agree with what they've been quoted, and then you're just into a situation that nobody's happy.
Well, there's two different prices because some of the items are heavier than
Right.
others.
Right,
So when you take a roof that is boards with shingles nailed to it, shingles one price, wood's the other.
right,
It's the way to go, and now we have a mechanism to fund it without tax
Right.
dollars. It's,
right.
as long as he puts it somewhere that fits the future of the transfer station.
Yeah, and he assured us, when we spoke to him, that was already in his plan.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, yeah.
Knowing where, if changes are gonna be made for safety reasons or whatever, that the scale would not have to be moved.
Yep.
So, all right, one last item if you want, and that is a solar array on the safety complex. The request is $119,200. This is a grant funding opportunity. So there would be zero impact to the tax base. If you look on slide 27, we provided a little bit of information based on 2024 on the power consumption at that safety complex, what the annual electric bill is, and what the potential savings is. It's about 50%. And my understanding is, and Jack, if I'm wrong, jump in, but there's some urgency that this has to be acted upon fairly soon,
I
or?
think the way it was, Naomi is probably got a better handle on this, but we put it on the warrant. We would lock the money in.
So what we did is we agree, so right now, there was a grant, we got bypassed the first round, but another town didn't have the money. So they came back to us and they wanted to sign a contract, and we agreed as collective group that we wouldn't sign the contract, but we would put it in front of the voters for the 119.2, and if the voters approved it, then we would move forward. But we have agreed to at least put it in front of the voters, so this was kind of last minute on our part, but where it's a dollar amount, we felt that it was important that, so they aren't blinded by the fact that we got an article for 119.2, oh my God, that, without really including it, even though it's grant money that would, it's a reimbursement, so you pay for it and they reimburse you, they pay for it and you reimbursement.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, they had 119,000, and they figured out, based on that, how many panels we can get, what yield through an average year, and what percentage of our, so, a bill could it offset. So, I mean, 25 years is not uncommon, even out to 35, 40 years. These late, recent panels that are being made are highly reliable. I've had mine for going on 14 years, and I haven't seen any degradation. They all work. So,
If this could be a straight grant where we didn't have to front the money and then get reimbursed, we wouldn't even need to put it on the warrant, but because the town has to
Right.
pay for it and then get paid back.
there is a cash flow aspect to it,
Right.
but it's increment, but it's progress billing.
Yeah.
It's not the whole enchilada.
Any other questions on that one? If you want to just flip, we'll wrap up on slide number 28. So this is just, gives you a look at the request, the column all the way to the right, 2026. The request came in at $1,364,483. Then we had an offset, and we talked about those offsets, but we've summarized them here for you. So the various things that we talked about tonight, coming out of the special funds or revenue accounts, we have an offset of $598,483. So that leaves an amount of $766,000. I do want to point out, if you take a look at 24, 23, 22, these requests have come in, below what we've seen in the past. Again, looking at deferring things like the cistern, trying to be conscious of what do we really need to get this upcoming year, things like the trucks, the cruisers, those things that we really need. If you go to page 29, the 2026 proposed appropriations, that number goes up a little bit only because we factored in the debt. So we talked about earlier those two items on the first page that had debt. So it's the DPW garage bond and the road preservation bond. So those are added in. So you have a total amount of $1,157,356. Number right at the bottom. Again, if you take a look at that compared to 24, 23, 22, I think the departments have done a really good job at planning for what they really need and still coming in lower than what they have in the past years. So I think they worked really hard to look at what they absolutely needed. That's all I have. Any other questions? Did you get what you needed? Thank you. All right.
Thank you,
Good.
Denise.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Denise.
You're welcome.
Is that broken?
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried using it. I can't remember what meeting we tried using it at. Shifted one page and then it went blue.
All right.
I thought it might have been just the program.
I don't want to do it while the public is watching. Ready for it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Great. I didn't know if there was something. Well, the first thing I'm going to go over is the estimated revenue sheet that you have in your pile somewhere. I don't see any major fluxes in the revenue for next year. Business as usual. I don't have any numbers from the state yet. Obviously, it would be set in our tax rate. So those might increase or decrease a little bit. But with my estimations, estimating .27 more than this year. Again, there's really nothing that we're going to be changing for next year in the way we do business. I do see an increase going forward every year, just because we have a full staff here, they're great staff, so we're bringing in more revenues, but nothing drastic. And again, I'm always very conservative when we do our estimated revenues, because this goes to offset our operating budget when we go to the voters in March. So I don't want it to be higher than our actuals, because then we'll have to raise more.
Right.
So I'm always a little conservative, so. But that's estimated revenues. It's very simple. Any questions on those?
No.
Okay, the other item that we're going to be discussing tonight is our default budget. So our 2025 approved budget was $9,006,111. When the voters went into the booth last March, they approved an operating budget of $8,927,570. This is at the bottom of that first summary. They also voted to give pay increases for non-union employees, and that was warrant article number 4. So that was an additional $70,130. They also voted for warrant article number 18, was police body-worn cameras. That was an additional $8,411. That's where we received our approved budget, that $9,006,111. So going forward into 2026, we start with that number, because that was last year's approved number. And when they voted for warrant article number 4, they were told in the mailer and on the warrant article itself that this will become part of the operating budget going forward. So in 2026, an additional $23,377 would go into the operating budget for 26. An additional $8,411 would also go in. So when you take the $9,037,899, sorry, there were some items that go up and down. There was a decrease in our debt interest because as the long-term debt goes on, the interest gets lower. So we had a reduction of $13,226. The CBA increase, this was a voter approved back in '24. So that was $96,334 increase. We had a lot of changes in our health insurance plans, and our premiums did go up a little bit. So that was an increase of $65,824. We removed the one-time expenditure because we had a retiree last year that went into the budget. So we removed that of $50,818. We're lucky enough that next year is a 53-week payroll. So we have to add that one more payroll into our budget. So that's $95,661. There's an increase in elections next year, so that was an additional $3,000, and then our increase in our workers' compensation and unemployment of $18,000. So that brings our default budget to $9,253,070. The detail is in the next 10 pages. But if you look at the summary, the general government, which is mostly this office building, we saw a reduction of $46,398. Obviously, the insurance went up, and that would be the property liability insurance. Police department went up 5.6%. Fire department went up 2.66%. And then the emergency management, ambulance, code enforcement, forest fires combined, they went up 3.5%. Highway department went up 3.38%. And then the other public works departments such as street lighting, transfer station, sewer, and water, that went up 8.77%. Animal control went up 2.14%. And most of these increases, these small increases, is because of that 53rd week of payroll. Health went up 0.61, welfare went up 0.07, no change in Parks and Rec. Library is 3.79% increase, and then debt service went down 3.27%. So overall, we are going up 2.74% over last year's approved budget.
So I know, I kind of was, on my own kind of on it a little bit, but we kind of, as a group, did set a goal of like 3.5%, and the town came in well under that as a total.
For last year?
No, for this year's increase.
Okay.
The budget,
Well,
right?
this is the default, so usually
that's
it's the
the default.
proposed.
Oh, the
to
proposed, okay, I
This
got
is
you.
just the default. This
All
is,
right.
so in the warrant article, it's gonna say, shall we raise and appropriate
Right, all right.
a number for proposed? If that fails, this is gonna be our
Yeah,
default.
all right, my apologies.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
I know there's a lot of numbers there.
There is, yeah.
So the revenues went up 11%.
So the revenues, yep, went up a little bit,
Point,
from 25 to, so what was it,
the point,
0.27?
yeah. Quarter of a percent.
So we take our budget, less our revenues, and that what's left has to be raised by taxation. So it's almost half. Our revenues are almost half our budget,
Yeah.
which is nice. So our budget's 9 million and we only have to raise 4.5. So we do a great job of bringing in revenues, so the taxpayers don't have to pay it. Questions? Got a comment?
No, I think that extra week of payroll is a good point. That's a big deal.
Hate that. It'd be nice if the following year we had 51,
Right?
you know, to even it out, but,
And it's just to keep in mind, I guess, for everybody that's looking at it, that
yeah,
that's a lot of money.
it is. It's an additional almost 100,000, just because of one extra payroll. I was really happy until I saw that. It's out of our control. So the $9,250,070, that's the number that you're gonna see going forward in budget season. We're gonna compare our proposed budget to that number,
Okay,
all right?
all right.
No questions? Okay. That is it for me.
Do you have a comment?
Yeah, I'm gonna give you guys some homework
So-
tonight.
Yeah, so just, so
Yeah.
Benji, you and I talked, Bruce and I talked. So next week, we don't have a meeting.
Yep.
What she's gonna give you is the entire budget that's gonna be presented on the 17th.
Okay,
That's got everybody from top to bottom.
okay,
On the 17th, the plan was that we would commit to an extra long night to do all the budgets,
yep,
in hopes that the 24th, we can keep it short.
Okay.
Bruce is out of town, and I know you had plans. So what she wanted to do was to give you the homework now. You got a couple of weeks to digest it all. On the 17th, with Beth, will be all 3 department heads, and Clay, actually, and we'll go top to bottom.
okay,
And then the 25th, the 3 department heads will go to finance after you. But it was in an effort to commit to a long 17th meeting, limited almost all to budget.
yes.
And then the 24th would be just a small pickup.
Any department heads out there listening, just doing the budget.
So they've all sat down with Beth. I think Jack
Yep.
sat in on it. They've all gone through their budgets with Beth. Even the small departments have done that. So we've done our homework, I think, and then we'll present it as a package of a whole budget. And then if you guys have questions, please make note of it, and we can talk about it on the 17th as a package. But the 3 department heads will be invited here, or Clay as well.
So you'll notice on this, it's the blue column that is what we're really gonna be looking at. The default budget we just went over, so the column to the right of that is the proposed budget.
Okay.
That's what the department heads have supplied us. If
Okay.
there's any increase or decrease, they'll put a note in the last column for you to
Yep.
review. But if you wanna go to the back, this is Benji's part, 4.10% increase.
Yeah, we're almost there.
So, look through it. If there's something that you see, flag it. So when the department heads are here in front of you, you can be like, I have some questions for you.
Right, and keep in mind that what'd you say, 7?
4.10?
4.10 includes that 53rd week.
I was just gonna ask that question.
It does.
That includes that?
Yeah, well, no, that number's in our default.
But it's in the proposed as well.
Yeah, but that's not part of the 4.10.
Oh, sorry.
How much of the percentage is that? It's not much, is it?
For what?
Out of the 4.1, how much is that 53rd
Payroll?
week?
It's not in there.
Oh, it's not?
No,
I thought you
it's
just said it
not
was.
That was my
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I thought it was. She
Yeah,
said
I
It's in
no.
our
did too.
default.
All right, so the answer would be 0. Thank you.
Exactly,
So we're
sure. But go
0.6
through it.
higher than what we talked about when we looked at an overall
Okay.
3.5.
And so I think it's important that, you know, we all will look at this, and if there's any input,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, it's a big collaboration between us and finance to support these department heads, and we all want to get a budget passed in these articles. So if there's input, you know, hope we hear it before
Yeah.
voting time from everyone. I know we have some finance members here.
I think it's good for you, when you go to make your decision, you see the whole package.
Yes.
And this year is a different way of approaching it versus you guys listen to 1, listen to 2, listen to 3 each separate night, and then we try to roll it all together, and then if
You
you
wanna
remember
bring back-
last year, we went back through it endlessly, week after week, looking for
Well,
a dime here and a dollar there.
And I think me and you talked about that. As important as it is to be very on point, I guess, with every budget. The ones where there's no increases or decreases, that's $300. I don't think we need to beat them up for hours and hours. I think last year, we did that so much that we got so tired sitting here that we got to some items we didn't even discuss because just we'd had enough, you know. I've been to enough seminars and meetings, and I had one presenter say that your mind can only absorb as much as your ass can take, and we sat here hours worrying about $25 of stamps. So you didn't talk about $300,000 something else. So I think that it's important that we look at the increases and decreases and not, you got a line that isn't changed and you want to discuss it, certainly that we will do that, but I don't plan on beating every line up.
No, not every line, but you'll notice when you go through it, the department heads are proposing some changes.
Of course.
So you'll go through it and you'll
And that-
just
and that's
want some more
fine.
detail on it.
And they might be asked to change it, I mean, it might not be set in stone. And-
No,
and
no, this
again,
is a
if
draft.
there's input from, you know, I want the board and finance to work together so when it comes to the voters, it's accepted by both.
Yes.
So that the voters vote for you. You can't keep going on with default budgets and not getting vehicles, and we need to find a way that works for everybody, so. We have plenty of time to consider this.
In an effort to really make the cooperative effort with the finance committee, I mean, it's right in the finance committee ordinance, I've got it right in front of me. Finance committee shall be required to work cooperatively with the selectmen, town departments, and school district to ensure that all respective budgets will best serve the community's needs. I'm not sure how that's gonna work, but I really like to get the finance committee involved during this and really hammer
Yeah,
them,
I would
have
too.
them here at all these hearings and hammer it out with them so that
I
they.
would too, because I don't want to be on opposing sides anymore.
No,
It doesn't
that's
work
crazy.
out. And, we want a budget to pass every year. It makes the town look good, you know, and same as vehicle. I get frustrated with the vehicles, I guess, because I was on that side so long, so I'm a little more passionate than some, but we've been asked for years and years and years to have these plans. We get these plans, and then you get new boards, you get new committees, and they're like, I just don't think we need it this year. Well, it was part of a big plan. I mean, you can almost call it, you know, the department's master plan. And we've been
Yeah.
asked to do this, and it really screws things up. So, I guess I'm asking for the members that are listening to work with us, and I wanna work with you, and if there's something you say, geez, why can't you cut that line by $1,000, we can bring that department head in and ask, but let's not fight about it this year and just say no because we wanna say no, or yes because we wanna say yes, and we want a budget to pass, and the long-term plans of the departments to pass, and
Makes everyone happy.
you never get way ahead in a budget, you only kinda maintain status quo, and that stinks sometimes, but at least I'd like to maintain status quo.
Yeah. Yeah, we
When you
need a
get the
proposed
fall, you
budget
go
passed.
behind,
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out, so, anyway.
Okay. So I expect some
appreciate-
homework done?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, thank you for everything.
Yeah.
Anything else you'd like to add before you're done? No, she says.
Anything you need?
No, I thank you very much for all this, and we have some homework to do.
Yeah.
And then the members here, I seen you handing out papers, they get a copy of all this?
I don't know, that's your homework, I mean, they're welcome to have one, but it's not your final budget.
Okay.
Well, for them to work with us, it'd be great if they have one.
Yeah, I made copies just in case.
Yeah, perfect.
We can hand them out.
Start this off on the right foot.
I'll tell you that. All right, administrator's report.
I'm just looking at,
It's very tiny.
okay. Sorry. I think I handed you all one. Did I not bring one for myself? Hang on. Here we go. I do have, I'm gonna pass it around the table if you guys want. I do have a cemetery deed that needs to be signed, but that's the whole folder for that. We talked about the police chief proposing the 24 cruiser funds, so that was all taken care of. Your CIP was done tonight. Your proposal, I'm handing around a deed to be signed. Building permit software, I'm not sure where we are with that, because I thought we were gonna get a, do you know if we,
I talked to Todd today.
okay, because we did have we put it out to bid, and we had that company come in and, we spent an afternoon with them, and they were gonna give us a demonstration to use, is that right, Bruce?
They'll give us they do the sandbox thing once you've said, okay, we're gonna use you guys.
Oh, okay, my misunderstanding, so I guess we're not doing the sandbox yet.
Because it takes some time to put that together. It's not something that's just generic. It's,
Okay, and Melissa had provided me with some area, communities and what they pay, and there's been a proposal for some increases in some of the fees. I think it was talked about as an offset. The question is that occur just here to have a public hearing for the changes? I couldn't remember if it goes on the ballot or here.
no, we do it right here. Fees are all adjusted. It's, building
Here,
fees are here.
okay.
Yeah.
So, once we get through, I think we'll, I guess part of it was to offset some of the cost. Is that correct, Bruce?
Yeah, because we've got it, there's a
So
subscription
she's
to
put
it,
together
it's-
something, and we'll scan it and send it to you guys for the fee changes. Deliberative session, I've already told you about. We've talked about the proposed plan for the 17th. And so that, in our hopes of making the 24th November a little bit less. And I honestly haven't got anything more to add for you for that.
The issue with the barn on East Street,
Yeah, we didn't get any bids, so what are we doing?
when did we say the work had to be done by? Do we have a date on that?
I just left it upstairs, I didn't. And I think I
Too short, you
took
think?
it down. I would have thought if you were gonna get bids, that you would have wanted it at least covered up for the winter, but you didn't get any bids.
But did we say it was like?
I don't
30
remember, Jack, I took it off the website,
Because,
because the bids have come and gone, they would do the 17th. of September or October. We think they would do,
Probably ought to do, after the first of the year, we probably ought to do the sheds again, and do this again, and give them to the end of the,
well, you all saw, we got another, I don't even know why, we got another forward from Walker Roofing for the horse sheds. Said it was gonna be done this summer, and I asked why it was forwarded at this time, and all I could get was, she was
Wasn't it the
told.
same bid?
No, it was the same exact bid, but I
Yeah.
said, why are we forwarding it again? Because it said it was gonna be done the summer of 2025, and it had a price in there. And she said she was told to forward it again.
who is this?
Walker Roofing or Walker,
What I'm
whatever they're
saying
called.
is, we ought to start fresh again after the year, first of the year, spring, and ask for these bids again, and have it so that they're to be completed by the end of the October.
Yeah.
This gives people plenty of time to plan it out, so it's not, like, if, I don't know when this is supposed to be done, but if it was too quick, people say the hell with it, it's going into the
They had
winter.
enough workload to do before
Right.
the winter. Right.
So, we did this, both of these after the first of the year, and, put a reasonable date to be completed out there far enough. We'd probably stand a better chance of getting somebody to at least bid on them.
Oh, no, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. I would think, after, like April 1st, send all those bids out. and have a
Well, after you get
deadline
done
by-
deliberative session, you have a little downtime in
Yeah, I
March.
have plenty of time to do all that stuff.
You know, you could put it out there so it could get scheduled at a time where they could work it into their schedule.
Right, they get the whole building season to get done, not
Right.
just 30
And
days.
start it out ahead, right.
Yeah.
And I think what we were trying to do is we were trying to rush because there was a need to put some
Right.
to roofs on.
Yeah, I would think from morning time in March till like May 1st, time to work all that stuff out.
Yeah, now you are gonna have a new board with 3 new members probably.
Yep.
Because you've got 3 seats open, 2 for 3-year and 1 for 1.
Yep.
So, is it fair for this board to put it out? Is it to wait till March, once you have a new board, put it
I
out?
mean, I can do it in the winter, I don't know. We're pretty busy the next
Yeah.
2 months anyway.
Yeah, no, you're busy
I
until
agree with
after.
Jack, put it out in springtime
Yeah.
and give them all summer to do it and put a date in the fall. I think that's a good idea, but.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Have it done by the fall. I don't know why, maybe it was too short of a time, Jack. I don't remember the time frame. But when someone looks at a bid that's due in September and want you to button it up for the winter, they've already got enough to do. So,
Someone else will be in this chair next year, so I don't have to campaign, so I'll say it one more time. I hope everyone takes that into consideration next time we take a free building.
Yeah. Yeah. Nothing's free, right?
I have had this heartburn about that building since we took it.
well said.
That's a
Well
good
said.
point.
I'll leave it to that.
And I haven't added anything more, like Benji hit it perfectly, I guess the plan would be if we can really stay focused on the budget and, collaboratively work together and get 90% of it done and not revisit it every Monday night till midnight like we did last year. It didn't gain us anything, so. That's all I have to offer.
All righty. Excuse me. These just the manifests. I move to order the treasurer to sign the payroll and accounts payable checks dated November 6, 2025, as included in the following manifest. Payroll manifest, $89,026 as weekly payroll. Accounts payable manifest, $94,340.90. Where school account payable manifest $250,000 for a total of $433,341.16. The following manifests were previously ordered to sign at the October 20th, 2025 Board of Selectmen meeting. Payroll manifest $94,996.38. Check dated 10/30/25. Accounts payable manifest $32,609.06. Check dated 10/30/2025. as there is no selectmen meeting scheduled for November 10th, 2025, please vote to order the treasurer to sign payroll checks dated November 13th, 2025, estimated to be about in the amount of $95,000. Furthermore, to order the treasurer to sign up to the amount of $95,000 for accounts payable that cannot wait until the next scheduled meeting. Reports and actual check amounts will be reported to the Board of Selectmen by inclusion on the manifest memo at the next scheduled meeting. Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have 3 signatures on everything, Bruce?
As far as I know.
That's a good answer. As far as I know.
All right, that takes us to minutes of 10:04, 10:06, and 10:20. Are we good to
10-4
talk
was
about?
your auction. That was just
Oh,
a simple.
okay.
All right, well,
I was wondering what-
let's start with those. Do we have any changes to those minutes? Do I
Honestly, I haven't seen those, to be honest with you. Does anybody have them? Thank you. 2 seconds.
It's just-
How we doing with the closing sale done?
Closings are not all done. We are got a couple, we have received funding for, I know 2 are closed at the end, so we got money last week, but we'll get money this week. I think there's only 2 left.
Can I get a motion to accept the minutes at 10:04?
Second.
Want to make the motion?
No.
All set?
Yeah, they're pretty easy.
All right, I move to accept the minutes of 10:04, 2025. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on those? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, moves us to 10:06. Is there any discussion on those?
Make a motion to approve the minutes of 10:06 as written.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion on those? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
10:20. Any comment or changes to those?
As I was absent from 10:20, will abstain.
All right, can I get a motion to accept 10:20?
Motion.
Second?
Seconded.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Abstentions?
Aye.
Against? All right. 3-1.
301?
301, yes. All righty, that cleans those up, thanks, guys, jeez. Selectmen committee updates, not yet, I'll have that next meeting. You?
I'm happy to say the CIP is done,
Yeah, nice.
and I haven't heard anything blow up on the duck pond, so hopefully that is.
You have seen an email that on the next agenda, it has to appear, but it was to do with the easement. If you all look at your emails, it has to do with the easement, but what I was gonna do is, I'm waiting for conservation to put it on their agenda for next week, and then you can put it on your 17th, and then it's done. The agreement has been signed by all parties and is coming back here for our file.
That's Benji to sign.
Right, but I'm just saying, Attorney Whitley asked that we put it on as an agenda item, so it shows. But I'm waiting for conservation to do theirs first, because it has to do with the pond.
But,
And we'll just put it on the 17th.
okay, so we vote to accept it, then Benji signs, right?
Say that again?
We vote to accept it, and then Benji signs.
On the 17th, yes, but I'm waiting, it has to appear as an item, so it'll appear on the 17th, but we just have a small motion and a part of it.
It appears that you passed the torch to Denise very well, looks like she did a good job.
Picked it up really nice, huh?
Yeah, she did, so.
Yeah, good job.
Jack always did a very, very good job of that, so.
Was that passing the torch?
I don't know. Nobody did it, nobody did it last year, and I know when we were interviewing for your place, that was my concern about you not being over there, because
What'd I
someone needed to do
say?
a job, and she did a very good job, so,
Not to worry.
so,
She did a good job.
anyway. It's a big deal having someone present. Last year, there was nobody, and I don't think, anyway.
No, there wasn't.
and,
No,
It didn't go so well, so. Anyway, you got anything, Bruce?
Not for committee updates.
Lynn?
No.
All right, correspondence, other business? Start with down here? I don't have nothing, you?
I do.
Go ahead.
There was one quick thing too. You weren't here when Frank got up during
No, I
public
wasn't,
comment.
no.
He wanted to point out your comments last meeting about Pledge of Allegiance not being given at some committee meetings.
Yeah,
He wanted to thank you for bringing that up.
okay.
And I just wanted you to know that he had said that.
Thank
And
you.
at our next Energy Commission meeting, I'll make a recommendation that we
Alright.
do it
Thank you.
so that it gets done.
Thanks.
All right.
And the other issue regarding, people put up a little shed, they get taxed. People get a shipping container, it's not taxed. Both same purpose. To me, they probably ought to be both taxed. I don't know. Is there a state law against that? I don't know. Maybe we ought to refer that question
I think it's a
to
question for the
our town.
assessor.
Yeah, I was gonna ask the assessor, because I thought they were
I
taxed.
thought it was if it was over 100 square feet.
Well,
Yeah, but by definition, a shipping
exclusion.
container is
Yeah, right.
shipping,
transient. It's not a fixed structure.
That's a very fine line, them and job trailers.
Yeah, that's why we got it.
That's like a lot of guys have wheels on something and, oh, you can't tax it,
And
even
that-
though it's been sitting in the same spot for 23 years.
so
I-
we
which-
just wanna ask the assessor to go contact Avatar regarding that issue.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. All right, what you got?
I'm gonna read something.
You guys have all seen it.
Okay.
This is for immediate release, and it has to do with our retiring town administrator. Town Administrator Naomi Bolton has notified the board that she is retiring from full-time employment effective November 30th, 2025. Naomi has worked for the town for over 30 years and has spent the last 16 years as town administrator. During her tenure, Naomi has worn many hats, stepping up whenever an administrative position is unfilled or a task needed to be completed. She has provided leadership to the town's administrative staff and served as the interface between the board and town department heads. She has served as an advisor to the board and a mentor to new board members. She has provided invaluable assistance in helping the town to navigate numerous challenges. Naomi has again shown her commitment to the town by agreeing to stay on in a part-time capacity through town meeting. After taking some time off in December, Naomi will continue to serve as an interim part-time town administrator. This will serve the town by assuring that all of the challenges that present at the beginning of each year will be covered. It also will allow the board time to conduct a comprehensive search for her replacement. During this past year and prior, Naomi and her husband Bill have each had difficult experiences before town boards. The current Board of Selectmen very much regrets these incidences and any adverse impact they may have had on Naomi and Bill. Policies then in effect to protect members of the public and town employees from uncivil conduct were not as effective as expected. The current Board of Selectmen has adopted a new public participation policy which addresses behavior during public meetings and the responsibility of town officials to protect citizens and employees from unnecessary and inappropriate personal attacks. We believe that the new policy will prevent any reoccurrence of what Naomi and Bill experienced, for which the board sincerely apologizes. And I know from first-hand experience what they went through.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything, Naomi.
Unless you want the board, you want a motion to accept that as position of the board?
That would be great.
I move we accept what's read as the position of the board.
Second. Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
On behalf of both of us, I appreciate that.
Welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Jenna, I think we pretty well have it, don't we?
So 1017, just a couple things, the NBAC you're gonna see on there as an agenda item. The other thing is, you're gonna see acceptance of Al's Drive as a Class 6 road, because that's what's been advertised.
Okay.
Other than that, we were just gonna do the budget.
Class 6
Class
or
five
5?
road.
Class 5 road. It's a
That's-
6
And I'd
now.
really like to stick to that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'd really like the department heads not, that's gonna be a busy night.
Yep.
So, please, if you got something, hold it off, unless it's.
Yeah,
big deal.
so, what I can do too is just, if you want to make 24's agenda, you can table your minutes and, you'll still have to do your manifest, but you can table your minutes.
Yeah, and I don't mind if we do the manifest that night and we put minutes on there. I guess we can pass
You're only
them
gonna
on
have
if we
one
don't
set.
feel like it. Right,
You'll have
we
one
only have
set.
tonight, so.
Yeah,
And come that time, we don't feel like it, we can push them off to the 24th.
yeah,
Let's put them on there, but, yeah, let's not have anything else from the, that's gonna be a big night.
It's gonna be a long night.
yeah.
I don't wanna just breeze over the budget, so if I come off by that earlier, I don't mean that, I just don't wanna beat up everything, so,
I've got one other piece of business,
okay?
sorry. Demolition.
Yeah,
Our demolition trailer is out of commission. The piston's out being repaired,
yeah,
supposed to be in this week, who knows if it will be. Then once it come back, the trailer needs work to even get it to be able to support everything, because the thing's 18 years old, and
what needs to be done?
so some structural repairs to be able to hold everything in place.
Oh, yeah?
And this is a busy time of year for the DPW to get things ready for winter and get things going, so I would like to hold off on accepting any demolition until we get that trailer back in place. Right now, they're dumping stuff on the ground, letting it pile up all over the place, because people don't wanna drive over it, or drive too close to it, you get flat tires, whatever. And then loading it into dump trucks and hauling it off that way.
So they're
Crazy.
hand loading it, or with, you know.
With a
a
load or
whatever,
whatever, but it's a crazy waste of manpower. And how many trips do you have to make? up there
Well,
with
yeah, I
dump
mean,
trucks
that,
compared to the
I don't
trailers?
disagree, I mean, A, I'd like to hear that from the DPW director. B, I think there's some considerable better alternatives.
Well, then let's talk about it, because, I mean, what's happening there now is just ludicrous.
Well, I'm sure that Sizemore has a trailer. I'm sure that we could do something different to paper and put the demo on the paper trailer.
Well, right now, they're dumping it on the ground. It's,
And I didn't know, I haven't been there since, I haven't been to the transfer station since I resigned as DPW director, so I don't know. And I talk to Jay very often, sometimes business, sometimes casual. We're both road agents, so we talk in that capacity, but I don't get in the middle of what he does, I don't get in the middle of what I do, but, I mean, there's definitely, I mean, if this is a request coming from him, he should be there. If it's not, if it's coming from you, I mean, we got better, there's definitely other alternatives. I knew that the piston was being rebuilt, I didn't know the time frame, and I didn't know there was other work to be
Yeah,
done to the trailer.
it's more than a 5-minute job putting it back together.
Are you saying there's other trailers that we could use somewhere?
I would ask, I would, last time the demo trailer went down, and it wasn't yesterday, so I'm not saying that they still have the same trailer, but, you know, it was even a different owner, but Sizemore had a trailer that we used, sure, at some sort of expense. There's, the paper, you know, it should be a wicked pain in the ass, don't get me wrong, it's only a 2-axle trailer, but the paper trailer is an open-top trailer. I'm not saying that would be a great alternative, I'm just saying that that's better than a dump truck. I would start with asking, you know, the commercial hauler, and there's roll-offs out there, I mean, it used to go in a roll-off before we had,
What if we do this?
so.
What if we stop accepting it until he has to work around?
Well, what's his wishes, cause I ain't heard a thing from him.
My point is, he can say, I have a workaround tomorrow morning, and we don't stop accepting.
Let's just say you can't dump it on the ground. That's silly.
You're handling it 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, I guess I wish he was up here, I don't know, I mean, is that something you've observed, is that something he's came to you with, I guess?
Someone observed it, and I talked to Jason today and talked to him about it.
I mean, I think that there's certainly avenues around this.
Yeah, but he can still work those in parallel. In other words, if you stop it, puts urgency on to get a workaround, if one's available.
I'm not gonna vote for something that he doesn't come up here and request us to do, I guess. I don't think, this is something that was tried before to stop demolition, by a different board member that wasn't here no more, and I'm 100,000% against it. If he has good reason, then we should hear from him about it. And there's definitely alternatives to it. I mean, there's roll-offs, you could put a 50-yard roll-off there. I agree, it shouldn't be all over the ground everywhere. But I didn't know they were putting it in trucks and hauling it up. Like I said, haven't been up there and gotten in the middle of it, but there's 100 alternatives to just not accepting it or throwing it in a 6-wheel dump truck and hauling it off. Seems kinda nuts to me.
But see,
There's all kinds of people that got trailers, so.
I guess my point is, if there's an easy workaround, the stop accepting demolition until a workable solution is found, workaround solution is found, may be instant. But if there's no amount of solution, they'll just keep dumping it on the ground.
I guess if this was a problem, I think we should have heard from the person in charge of the problem.
Well, I haven't talked to him about this,
I haven't either.
but the thing I'm saying is, he's probably trying to do his best.
Well, I never said he wasn't, but, I mean, he was here last week, so I think if it was a concern, it would've got brought up. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't have got brought up.
I don't either. And when does the piston come off and blow out? And,
It's been a minute, but I didn't know,
I mean, since then, he's been doing something up there, you know, and it's not,
which is probably something that should come to the board if it's a problem.
even if all we gotta say, look, we don't wanna dump it on the ground, we don't have to pick it up, we don't wanna put it in dump trucks, we don't haul it up 18 yards at a time.
Mhm.
That's crazy. Fuel, man hours,
Well, there's definitely other options, and I think it should be brought to that podium by the supervisor.
we can give them some
And I've
direction right
seen-
now, though,
I've-
and say not to do that anymore.
I've seen this pulled at this board before because they don't want to take demo, and I'm
I'm
not
not
falling
taking-
for it, so.
It's
not
nothing
a
against,
chance.
it's nothing against not taking demo, it's the question about it costing us 3 times more than we're already losing on it.
Well, technically, you ain't, on paper. First of all, I don't agree doing it that way, but on paper, you're not losing money on it. You're not paying for hauling, but I bet I could make a call at 6:30 tomorrow morning and find a trailer.
We can do that, and it solves the problem.
But I'm not gonna do that for him if he doesn't want me to do it. I mean, I didn't know this was a problem, and I didn't know it was a problem for him that he had.
You can call them at 6:15.
I don't like speaking for Jason, I think he does a great job, so I don't wanna be, this is something I was unaware
Next
of.
Monday? On the
Next Monday,
17th?
you're not meeting. Oh, you're meeting 2 weeks from now.
Yes.
I mean, I'm happy to call him in the morning and see that he had find out it was a problem, help him find a trailer. I think finding a trailer would be super easy. I'm willing to do that. I can't believe that either the vendor that takes the demo wouldn't put one in place, or the
Either
vendor
way,
that hauls the trash, hauls the demo.
either way,
wouldn't
the
put one.
problem is solved, if that's, the immediate problem is solved if that's what happens.
Right.
I'm not opposed to that.
Yeah.
I'm not either, as long as it,
I hate it when somebody gets in my business when I have a plan and I don't know. I haven't had that discussion. I've had other discussions with them. I haven't had transfer station discussions, so I'm not purview to the situation, I guess. I don't think that's a great method about going about it, but if he feels that that's the only way he has it, I mean, budget-wise, he's not spending money hauling it, but it isn't, I don't wanna see it all over.
he
the
is,
fucking
he is
ground.
spending money hauling it, it's just a different.
It
way of
is,
spending
but, it is, Bruce, but when you look, I mean, it's the same argument about gravel, right? Is if you haul it from this pit and this pit, it costs more to haul it from here, but at the bottom, at the end of the day, it comes out of this bag. That's kinda how the town budget works, but regardless, if you wanted help, and I'll call him in the morning and ask him, I guess, if you guys want.
If you can find a trailer or an easy workaround, I think that's what we're really looking for,
Okay,
to be honest, yeah.
all right.
I'm not looking to try to stop collecting demo pitching, believe me. I'm not that prior board member.
Yeah,
Don't even think that. I'm
right.
kind of- I'm
And
kind
as
of
a
a little
person
bit
who needs to
upset
get rid of demo, I
I
certainly
just-
don't want to stop
I
anytime
guess
you
I
can
just-
get rid of some.
I'm on guard for that, and I apologize if I ruffle feathers. I don't know nothing about it. If Jason wants to stop it and has a good excuse, I'd like to hear it from him. If you don't like the eyesore up there and you're like, we need to stop this and we need to.
It's not only nice, it's dangerous.
And I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with none of that. Right?
Yeah.
So, then we need to talk to Jason. Now, I don't wanna pile a bunch on for the 17th, but it seems like kind of an urgent matter, so
That's 2 weeks.
maybe we ought to talk to him, but I'd be happy to call him tomorrow and say, hey, would you like help finding a trailer? And if he says, no, I got it, and you still don't like it, then maybe we put it on for the 17th until then we need to talk to him, but, I'm happy to ask him, and happy to find a trailer, and then if my bright idea that I can get a trailer falls through, I mean, all, and I got egg in my face and I look like an idiot, but I know in the past that I've been able to get one from the vendor that takes the demo, which I'm not even sure if you use the same vendor, and the vendor that hauls it, which, same company but different owner, loaned us a trailer. Probably at some sort of cost, but
Does that all go up to Norton?
he did when I was there, I don't know where he's sending it now, I haven't looked at the bill. It used to go to Norton when I was there. So we used to send it to Urco, and Urco had such, they're so volatile on the amount of sheetrock that was in there.
No.
So if you had 5 extra sheets, they would.
Getting antsy.
And they would, so our contracted price at the time I was there was $78 a ton. They would say it was over this percentage, it was 110, 101, 121. And the last straw was I had Matt, who was very good at keeping record. It was over 20% sheetrock, that's when they hit you the high price. Well, we were at like under 10, and they still hit us at a high price, and that's when I said I had enough of you, and I went to Naughton. But again, I've been gone since 22, and I have not got in the middle of the business up there, so.
So if Norton still is the recipient, which I think it is, I talked to Jason this summer, we were talking about reorganizing, how to reorganize. Can they send some dumpsters down for us?
That's what one of my questions would be, yeah. I would ask Naughton and I'd ask Sizemore. That would be my first 2 phone calls. And then if those fell through, then yeah, I don't wanna see it everywhere either. I'm in the same boat as you, Bruce, so I guess
So
come off a little wrong.
would you give us, when you talk to him, rather all of us talk with him,
Yeah,
when you talk to him, what can you just either text us all what the
yeah,
status is?
yeah, I'd call you and let you
So we
know.
don't, so we don't
Yeah,
swamp.
yeah, and if not, then we'll ask him to come in and talk to us on the 17th. And
Or if he has a solution, just tell us what his solution is.
Sure,
Maybe he's already got a solution.
sure. That's the only reason I wanna make a motion tonight. Maybe he has a solution.
Yeah.
Guess I went about talking about it wrong, so,
If not, you may offer him some solutions.
right. So, very good. Perfect.
Good.
All right. Do we have anything else? We have a motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor, aye.
All right.
Hang on, wait.